prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. God, we just come to you, Lord, just thanking you for all your many blessings. Lord, we just ask that you be with us through this meeting and have all the decisions and things that are done pleasing to you. Lord, we just ask that you watch over our students, our faculty and staff this school year. Keep us safe. Lord, we just thank you for everything that you do for us. And we ask this all in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
Can we hurry? I'll call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Roll call. This action is taken by calling each board member's name with the board member answering present. Mr. Murray.
Present.
Ms. Wilson.
Present.
Mrs. Higginbotham.
Present.
Mr. Kazook.
Present.
And Ms. Wicker.
Present.
All board members present.
The adoption of the agenda.
Meeting agenda provided for your review. If there are no corrections or amendments, I recommend the agenda be approved as presented.
I'll make a motion we approve the adoption agenda.
I'll second it.
Vote.
Mr. Murray.
Yes.
Ms. Wilson.
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham.
Yes.
Mr. Kazook.
Yes.
And Ms. Wicker.
Yes.
Any public comment?
Public comment?
This yours or mine?
Yes.
I just want to bring your attention that next month, November 14th to the 18th, is American Education Week. And AA will be doing a lot to celebrate that week and want to remind everybody else that it's a good time for us to be thankful for education staff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lamb.
Anyone else?
Oh, okay.
She didn't say fish food.
Russell County Education Association, RCEA, Certified Employee Recognition. Eric Bennett.
What the whole can't get out.
Every once in a while, they let me do one of these.
I wondered.
And this is one I wanted to do.
Yes.
If you all know Eric Bennett, he teaches at the middle school, 6th to 8th grade. He's teaching physical education now. When I taught with him, we were both special ed teachers at sexual ed. Eric and I co-coached together, we co-taught together. And I told him one day, I said, you realize that you could be my child, you know?
Yeah.
So, but Eric is a Christian first. He's a family man. And then he loves his kids and the kids love him. He absolutely has the most wonderful way with students that I've ever seen. He went to Lindsay, I'm gonna hush for a second crying. He went to Lindsay Wilson, got a bachelor's in physical education, UK for his rank 2 in sexual ed, Eastern Kentucky, rank 1 in educational leadership. His favorite part of teaching is getting to see the future of Russell County as they come through my classroom. If they can look back at their time with me as their teacher and they know I cared, have joy and good memories in their heart, I feel that I've completed my job as their teacher, and he has completed that many times over. He enjoys spending time with his family and friends, attending church, traveling, hiking, and coaching. He's a little competitive. I don't know if y'all know that or not, but
Just
he
a tad.
seems to have, yeah. And he likes playing and watching sports, running and playing video games. He's a little competitive. I'll say that one more time for that part. He has his own quote, which he would. I like to tell, if this is my favorite quote, I'm going to use mine. I would like to tell them, have a good life first. I love the reaction I get, but most importantly, that is what I want for each and every one of them. But obviously, the greatest quote I can think of, as you would, that men should do to you, you do to them likewise. Jesus, or do unto others as you would do unto them, as we most commonly say. This is one man that walks the walk and talks the talk. And I'm very proud to have taught with him, coached with him, and be a friend.
Congratulations.
Mr. Bennett, you you have anything to say?
I just appreciate that there's a lot of faces in here. I appreciate each and every one of you. I've had awesome teachers all the way through Russell County. I'm Russell County through and through, and
You're like me, you had this lady sitting back here, didn't you?
absolutely.
Yes, he
absolutely.
did.
She was my fourth grade teacher.
That's right.
Very good teacher. So I would have to say my favorite teacher was my dad, Steve Bennett. So he was a good teacher as well. But I appreciate y'all very much.
Thank you, appreciate you, Mr. Bennett.
God, I ain't seen him in a long time. He just loved it. I ain't seen Steve for a long time.
He's big.
Yeah, he was last time I seen him.
He's in a small
2022 Stillwell, pronounce that for me, I can't say it.
Meritorious. Mr. Hoover could
Meritorious.
say it better than he is.
Would you say that? Service Award recipients. Carol Ackerman, Chris Bell, Chris Godby, Donnie Jones, and Richard Stevens.
Mrs. Ackerman, I'm so honored and excited to present these awards this evening. Mrs. Ackerman could not be with us this evening, but the four gentlemen are, and I'm going to ask them to come up front here. I know you all in the audience can't see this, but it's a really nice commemorative coin. And I'm going to read the little story behind it because it's, that's got a good weight. And it's got two little red suspenders on here, so I'll kind of tell the story with that as well. That they said. Since 1992, Kentucky Education Technology System, what we all refer to as CETS, you all have a CETS offer of assistance tonight. We say CETS all the time. The pioneer and national leader in most aspects of educational technology investment, infrastructure, and support for public school districts. What a lot of people don't know, and Mr. Bell could attest to this, Kentucky was way ahead of a lot of states in technology and funding technology when computers and things first started. A vital part of this effort has been a strong partnership with individuals, such as the four gentlemen to my right, and entities that continue to assist the Kentucky Department of Education in fulfilling its mission to students and citizens of the Commonwealth. Named after the late William E. Stillwell, Ph.D., the Stillwell Award is presented to the unsung heroes that have gone above and beyond the call of duty in education technology. They devote their efforts entirely to our K-12 students, teachers, and administrators. Identified by their red suspenders, the annual Stillwell Award winners represent the best of the best who show up daily in their tireless service to Kentucky schools and the high-quality education technology services and supports that are required. One of the U.S. Army's most prestigious awards is the Meritorious Service Award, MSM, medal. The 2002 Bill Stillwell Award is just as distinctive. For 2022, a unique version of the Red Suspenders Award, a meritorious medal in the form of a celebratory coin, has been commissioned for presentation to critical K-12 education technology staff in all of Kentucky K-12 school districts and the Kentucky Department of Education Office of Education Technology. This distinctive coin signifies the individual's successful tour of duty from March 10, 2020 to March 11, 2022, providing quality. What happened during that time period? Or COVID, during this time period, providing quality education technology service on and beyond the school campus for Kentucky K-12 students, teachers, staff, and families throughout the 24-month core of the pandemic. The service provided the connection with students and families to their schools for the continuation of learning and student health support. Therefore, let it be known that the 2022 Stillwell Award is being presented here on October 17, 2022 to the education technology leaders in Russell County Schools as a simple but sincere and heartfelt way to say thank you for your accomplishments, your dedication, and your sacrifices over these 24 months, as well as your continued persistence toward excellence, and is presented to, as I noted earlier, Mrs. Ackerman couldn't be with us, Mr. Richard Stevens, Mr. Donnie Jones, Mr. Chris Bell, and Mr. Chris Godby. And folks, we could not have done what we have done these past 24 months. Was March. It's crazy that it's been that long. But it turned everything on its head, and we had to mobilize just like that. And you all can remember those meetings in the basement, those meetings above the pool, and then it just shifted. And, we would say, fix this screen, which I wrote that check for Kobe Lee's screen, and the internet at houses, and the folks that couldn't connect to the MiFi devices that the board approved that we were doing all those things. all of that continuation of learning could not have happened without these 4 gentlemen. And Mrs. Ackerman, we included her because if you all recall at the very beginning, we had the help tech line at night, and when folks went home and the parents, were there and they couldn't reset their passwords, they could call that number we had set up. And Mr. Godby and Mrs. Ackerman worked that, and Mrs. Ackerman also helped reset passwords and do all those things. So we wanted to include her as well. But it is a monumental task, and the number of devices, I know Mr. Bell quoted this just the other day, and I can't recall it, that we have now approximately
It's over 10,000.
over 10,000 devices, okay? Divided up, that's what, 2,500 apiece with just these 4. That's a lot to take care of in a district our size, right? And so it's just been phenomenal. We could not have done it without the gentlemen. So we will,
Unbelievable.
Mr. Bell or Mr. Stevens or Mr. Godby, or Mr. Jones, anybody want to say anything? Mr. Godby's pointing to you, Mr. Bell.
It always points at me. It was a challenge, but, we enjoyed it, I think. Made for some not so boring days that you may have otherwise.
A lot of technology staff don't make home visits, but these folks make home visits,
To fix.
Yep, and you meet the parents after school hours and, because they don't get off till 5 or whatever, and their laptop's not working or not connecting to the Wi-Fi. These folks made it work, and we could not have got through it, and still getting through it without that. Appreciate your attitude towards it and just your dedication to it. So we're proud and honored to present you all with this award. Let me get
I
right
see
here.
that spot. I picked this up.
No, the projector lights. We'll stand over here and get a picture.
I seen that here a while back.
You can come by and let us shake your hand when you get through.
That's nice to see that.
And I'm taking just coffee, Lisa Coffee.
Oh, yeah.
Paper.
There we go. 1, 2, 3.
You all need a standing ovation, I tell you, what all y'all done.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
I can honestly say I enjoyed every day of it. I'm not even making that up.
Chris, you deserve extra.
Appreciate you so much.
You're more than welcome.
Appreciate you so much.
John's.
Appreciate you so much.
Made yourself do on mine head.
That's just part of it, Mr. Murray.
Yeah, he made himself do on
Yeah.
mine done taps. When I was lost.
Surely not.
Yeah, it wasn't much, but yeah, I didn't mess it up.
All right, consent agenda items.
We have the previous meeting minutes, payment of bills, school activity fund reports, field trips, treasurer's monthly report, and the leave of absence report. Russell Springs Elementary School, they were having software issues with their report. Theirs is not included, so we'll approve that, pull it out as a separate item at a separate, another board meeting. So Ms. Carnes will present the financial report.
What did you say? It's been a Monday all day today.
All day long.
I have had better Mondays than today. Okay, our treasurer's report for the month of September 2022. The balance on hand at the beginning of the month was $8,972,685.31. Total receipts for the month were $1,702,072.48. Total of receipts and beginning balance together, $10,674,757.79. Disbursements for the month were $4,391,044.27, and the balance at the close of the month was $6,283,713.52. Fund balance, in general fund, Fund 1, we have $6,989,679.76. Special projects, Fund 2, negative $1,232,228.51. District activity, Fund 21, $10,504.01. Capital outlay, Fund 310, $140,952 even. FSPK Building Fund, Fund 320, $316,519.29. Construction Fund 360, $112,656.81. Debt Service Fund 400, negative $819,045.80. Food Service Fund 51, $762,048.26. and the fiduciary fund, Fund 7,000, $2,627.70. And that brings our total cash in bank for all the funds to $6,283,713.52. A couple of things I'll point out. You'll notice debt service is in the negative there. That's because we have some bond payments due before we start collecting our local property tax money. So that's typical for it to be negative for a couple months till we collect that first big payment in early November. So that'll probably still be negative next month, but then in November we'll see that back positive, and it'll stay positive the rest of the year once we've collected our tax money. And then you may notice that our disbursements for the month were a little higher than usual. We had 3 payrolls in the month of September because the 1st of October fell on a Saturday. So we back it up and pay it on that Friday, the 30th of September. So we had 3 payrolls. So next month in October, our disbursements may look a little lower than usual because we've just got 1 payroll in the month of October. So any other questions? If not, I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Carnes. So if there are no changes or amendments, I recommend approval of the consent agenda items.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent items. I can't even talk.
I'll second.
Ms. Wilson made the motion, and Ms. Brenda seconded.
I thought Carol was making a motion.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazook?
Yes.
Ms. Wicker?
Yes.
Ms. Carroll? Ms. Brenda said she thought she was making a motion and scared her to death.
I didn't know it was one. It's all right.
Yep.
BG2, BG3 for the Russell County Schools athletic facility upgrades. Construction documents and advertise for receiving bids.
We're so excited about this. Of course, you all know you have a BG2 and a BG3 for the Russell County Schools athletic facility upgrades presented for your review and ultimate approval. It needs to be submitted to the Kentucky Department of Education for approval with the construction documents and authorization made to advertise for bids pending Kentucky Department of Education approval for the Russell County Schools athletic facility upgrade project. We have Mr. Doug Gooch from AGE and Mr. Jonathan Smith from Branscombe Construction, and we'll present the information.
I didn't hear it. I think that's it.
We've got plans, hundreds of sheets if you want to go through.
Yep.
I don't want to. I do not. I wouldn't know what I was looking at if I went.
Yeah, let's look at it.
Every single one.
Every one of them, line by line, dot by dot.
That map is just an existing conditions of this end of the campus. Football field, baseball field are together, as you know, track and practice field kind of set catty-cornered to the rest of it. Utilities everywhere. Lots of utilities underground, some of them
Like a spider web.
We think we figured it all out. This is the plan.
I hope it looks that good.
We're going to build a retaining wall around the baseball field. Starts here, comes all the way around to here. So the baseball field will be exactly like it is now. That was one of the things we learned early. There's a great tradition. Don't bother the brick, don't bother the netting. So we are leaving the baseball field as is, except we're putting turf on it. We're putting a true home run fence around it. We're actually having bullpens for your pitchers to warm up in. They don't get hit in the back of the head with line drives. We're making it a true state-of-the-art turf baseball field. We're forming a new pad here where the old bleachers were, and we're taking a big segment of the existing bleachers at your football field and repurposing them and bringing them up to code for handicap accessibility and all that. So we're going to increase the bleacher capacity for the baseball field on the home side significantly. We're also increasing some areas out through here by raising the grade so that people can bring lawn chairs and sit along that fence. And we're going to extend some netting out there to try to keep them from getting hit. And so, going to bring the baseball field up to standard. It'll have your logo in the center of it. Completely turf. Basically no maintenance. They'll come in once a year and wash it, basically wash it. And that's it. They'll enter, all the guests will enter the baseball field here, visitors will go this way and up a handicap ramp. Home team will come this way and up a handicap ramp and come out into it just like they always have. The area around the backside of this retaining wall will all be lowered. A good idea is, you know where the bus garage is now. That's the level that all this is going to be. The football field, the track, the concession stands, all this area is going to basically be the same level as the bus garage. Now, our thought behind that was, that won't always be a bus garage. There's got to be a better place in this area for the bus garage than right there. So when we get rid of the bus garage, we're going to gain another 4 or 5 acres right there that can be parking, that can be anything we want it to be. So while we're doing this, we're going to go ahead and get down to that grade that makes all that ready. It also ties in with all the parking out through here. If anything, we change on the other end of the campus.
And we need that field.
And we need the material drastically.
Yes.
We could not afford to put this material in a road truck and haul it in here and dump it. It's just completely impossible. So we needed the field to build the football field. It'll be a football field, soccer field. You'll have a track that you can have regional track meets on. You have triple jump, long jump, pole vault, high jump, discus, shot put, all of that.
We've even talked about the electrical receptacles in the front so that band, because you know now they have a lot of extension cords and stuff like that to make certain that they have enough space and the gate to get on the field.
We've already planned for the band contest. The incoming bands will come in this chute, and this is all parking lot. We can park band buses here. This is all new parking lot. Incoming band about to compete will come in this chute and come onto the field at the same time. The other bands are coming off the gate here, and all this is sidewalk. And you all can see the shading a little better on your handout, but the gray area there is all sidewalk. So the other band will come out this way and come back around to their parking lot. So your band director was very adamant that they needed to be able to flow on and off the field through different gates, and so we've accomplished that.
Good.
This will all be completely new, state-of-the-art bleachers. You'll have a new press box, all the electronic hookups you need to do whatever you need. You're going to have all new LED lighting. I'll save you a ton of money on electricity on the on-demand charge for having LED lights.
It's a novel idea, but it's a simple and easy idea. We'll have a tunnel underneath the bleachers, as Mr. Tovine discussed. But then in our meeting we had, what day was it, Doug? One day last week. It was suggested for the lights to be, they could alternate red and blue for the boys as they come out to the field.
Lights under the tunnel. The team will dress here right now, come down the ramp, come down here and come through the tunnel. Of course, they'll be, almost like the catwalk. They'll come down this side and turn through. So yeah, in the tunnel as they go through, the lights can strobe, they can flash red and blue. You can do all kinds of things.
Yep, they can go off.
The bleachers on this side, on the home side.
He's like a weatherman.
By that screen. The bleachers on the home side will be all new, state of the art. We're going to repurpose the rest of the bleachers from the old football field to the visitor side. There'll be a concrete walk around the track to get to the visitor side. The new track will be fenced, and you all will have to work hard to take care of that track, because you really don't want a bunch of people in cleats and stuff walking around on the track. You don't want them driving side by side and stuff like that across the track without protective cover on. So we've limited the number of gates that will be on there so to protect the track. We have made provisions for the tennis courts. We're going to have 6. We're bidding 6 tennis courts. We for sure will be doing the earthwork for them. We're kind of bidding the tennis courts as an ad alternate. We believe we have the money for them, but that's something we're going to hope for. We're planning for modern lighting at the tennis courts. We worked with the tennis coach to get the fences and the coaches' pit where they stand behind the fence while they play. We've got all that suits him. So we feel like we've got a good system there. This old flat area out here that used to be kind of a secondary practice field is now going to be repurposed for the field events that can't be on the track. You cannot throw a discus on the turf system. So we'll have the discus out there. We'll actually go ahead and build a high jump pad out there, because you can always use a big concrete pad for something, even when you're not doing track and field. So this area right here will basically be all paved or concrete, so that at some point, if you need something for some other event, you will have that. Maybe in the band event, somebody needs something out there, that will be available. We're gaining this area as parking. One of the things we're doing is we're actually building a pad, a flat pad here, in this area right here, that would possibly be future field house, future lockers, future weight room maybe. So we're building a pad there. I think we can build a 60 by 240, I think it's 60 by 240 building on in the future. Now, this building is not part of this.
And it'll be stubbed for the water and electric.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are getting everything ready. Sanitary sewer goes right by it, water goes right by it. Everything's there for the future construction of a building. Not a lot of cost at this point to get it ready and put the straight on it. We can park on it, we can do other things on it when we need to. It's not going to be paved. We feel like that might be a waste of paving, but it will be gravel, so we can use it for parking. And it kind of cleans up an area that was a little bit junky between the parking lot and the bus storage area, so it kind of gives us a good excuse to clean that up.
Is there bleachers at the baseball field for the visitors? There's not.
I'll come a little closer to it.
Are there bleachers at the baseball field for the visitors?
Existing bleachers.
Yes.
There are, those are still there. Will be there.
And we will have a flat enough area to be able to pull some aluminum, some of those portable aluminum ones over and set up there.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
We're not building any new bleachers on the visitor side. We are increasing the
Okay.
area that they can
Right.
sit on out,
Right.
you know, as you go out
Mention
toward the home run fence. Yeah.
And even the bleachers, like Mr. Smith and I got an email today, even the bleachers they're repurposing. I think Mr. Tobaum, when he was here, told you all this, but he told us when we met on site too, that you couldn't tell the difference, yeah. And then even they'll have the blue risers, just like our new ones will for our grandstand, because they'll bring them all up to code when they do that.
The concession stand is in this area. It's a little bit greater here. You might be able to find it.
Well, I think Tony and Josh have had some influence.
Yeah, it's got 4 different.
Bus garage on the other end for the corner.
Got AC and we even talked about more of the.
If you remember, I told you the baseball field is going to be surrounded by a retaining wall. This is the retaining wall. It's going to be a profile or side view retaining wall. We're going to incorporate the black fencing that you all have up there now that I think pretty sentimental to some of the baseball fans and stuff. We're going to incorporate that same style of fencing on top of the retaining wall. So the baseball field will basically be encompassed by this wrought iron.
And right now, of course, you know, the baseball field where you go in, it's just kind of wide open.
Yes.
But you won't have that just walk up to the bleachers. It'll be more like that, like you keep referring to, like stadium field.
Yes.
To gain access to it too.
It kind of feel like walking up into an arena, because you're going to come in, walk uphill, and come out at the field. So
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a nice addition to the baseball field.
And Mr. Exroad's been on site with us, had
Now,
meetings about that.
the bus garage, it's staying? or
Yes,
it's
yes,
moving?
yes.
You know, the water runs through that like a creek?
No, part of that was when that other fence and stuff that
Well, it's still doing it.
was done, but that's
But
gonna be
is
fixed.
this gonna take care of that? They're gonna move it or
Yes.
what?
No, we can't, we don't have funds to do the new bus garage now, but this irrigation issues. Mr.
know,
Gooch, they're asking about how that water runs comes down the hill over to the bus garage right now after they done that other work. This irrigation stuff will address that.
Water runs through the building.
He don't have a clue.
Yes, we're going to.
Yeah, he does, we've talked about it.
He must not.
I don't really. No, he asked me. I thought he did. But, I didn't have any.
We can't see that one.
Yes.
And Jonathan, why are you messing up?
We're working on there'll be new storm drainage to handle that. So one of the add alternates that we're bidding, and if everything goes well, we can do it, is we're actually going to collect almost all that storm water and take it under the baseball field to a ravine behind the football field where we have the ability to build a large detention basin. So we can take the water over there and basically store it for a couple of days. And reduced flooding problem for everybody around us. And that setup is also kind of in preparation for a big parking lot where the middle school currently resides. If we get to build a new middle school, that area where the old school is will become parking, and this pipe that we're going to bid will handle that water too. It'll be sized to handle that water. It's a 42-inch pipe, so it will handle all that water and basically reduce all the water going off the south end to adjust what lanes past the area we're working on. We get a little bit, we'll show you. Just a little. The other way, go out of it, I'm sorry. Okay, that's what's going to touch up. Okay, so this is the parking down here. This is your concession stand, restrooms here, concessions here. We're going to have a garage door. There'll be a big garage door in this side of it that actually is flush to the parking lot. So the fence that isolates the field starts here at the corner of the building, leaving the concessions all inside the fence, the big garage door outside the fence. We're bringing the fence down and tying it back in. Now that's the gate that bands will go in during band competitions. It's also the gate where the ambulance would sit. We know we don't ever plan to need one, but you have to have one with access to the field. And so the ambulance will sit at this gate and be on the field in a second and be out of the field in a second without having to move cars.
Right.
So anyway, that's how we secure the field. The fence comes up here, then the fence ties in here, just below the restroom doors. It comes over, and the gates where you'll collect money and stuff is here. There'll also be a gate to collect money for the parents who currently park in the north and walk around the old tennis courts and down. So we'll have a station there where they can kind of corral them and collect the money there. There is there's a PDF building.
I'm telling you, we're gonna be up to speed. Ain't no doubt that we're gonna look good. Here,
Something nobody else had.
You
see me? Does it look like me?
Yeah, it does. First thing looks like you. Now the one upside down looks like you. It's upside down.
There you are.
That's upside down.
Yeah. I said, that's what I seen there. Good friends.
Yeah.
I think you're most of
He must have tax for something. He must need tax for something. He must need tax for something to pay for you.
That's it.
Them TVs down at the bottom.
Chairman Carter Barnhart has worked with us on the concessions building. This is the concession stand we plan to have, and I think you guys have probably a better printout of the floor plan that you can see on this. The big block building will have 4 windows to sell hot dogs and steak sandwiches and whatever out of.
I'm all for
Pretty
it.
large kitchen. This is the garage door that goes into the storage room where you the pads, the hurdles, and all that.
We even discussed the number of outlets in the concession area because of the crock pots and, all that stuff like
We
that.
decided we could run 32 crock pots. I think.
Off to the left if you have read, okay.
32 crock pots.
I believe it'll be enough.
And so that's the floor plan for that. Again, ease of maintenance is going to have a metal ceiling inside it. It's going to have block walls, almost indestructible. We never say that anymore, but almost indestructible. But you can take a water hose and wash it down. So we're trying to construct something that's maintainable, that's durable and maintainable with minimal cost. And so we think we have that there. It'll have the logo on the side here. The Russell County Athletics logo, emblem and stuff, and that'll all be lighted. So it'll be as attractive a building as we can make a split face block, and that's kind of the budget we're at right now. Any questions so far?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Amazing.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you. We have put a lot of thought into it, but we've talked to a lot of coaches and athletic directors, and so we've had a lot of input. We've had a time. We hope we've had time to get it right, and we feel like if these bids come in, and we'll expect them two, we're gonna have a heck of a facility here.
Oh, it sounds like it.
I appreciate the communication you all have had with their coaching staff and things, because
Yes.
that's where it hits the road, and they know what works and what doesn't work.
We
Yeah.
know more about tennis courts than we ever talked to.
And I don't know anything about tennis. Don't look like all that.
Doug
But I
showed you
told
all
the
the
girl that we
photos
do our
and what
best.
it's all gonna look like. I'm gonna tell you what we think it's gonna cost. So what you have there before you get up.
Well, don't ruin our good mood.
I'm not going to.
Okay, good.
You have a copy of the BG3 there, which
I
is
know.
required by Kentucky Department of Education. We've worked with Doug and all the other consultants, Tote Dine, the lighting folks, and everybody to develop this budget we've been working on for, I don't know, forever, for a long time, I know. But the numbers you see there in the BG3 is what, like we say, is what required. We worked with Ross Sinclair also to develop all the numbers from the bonding standpoint. You do have contingency on this project. You have to carry a minimum of 5% contingency for this project, which is right now $316,000. So all-in cost, soft cost and all, as you see there, is $7,650,278. That's everything included that we will submit to KDE upon y'all's approval tonight. Obviously, when we go out to bid and we have exact numbers, we will revise this and submit that back to KDE for their requirements. But that's what we have some budgets right now for everything that we have in place. So there's a few things on the drawings that Doug and others are going to wrap up this week. When those are all complete, we will get everything ready, get it to go out to bid. You have to advertise twice in a 21-day period. We've got to put it in the paper, all of that requirement. So as soon as we get their final drawings this week, we'll prepare bid packages, of course, with y'all's approval, and we will put this project out to bid. And hopefully, depending on KDE, bid times, that kind of stuff, we should be ready to start working around December 1.
Yay.
Give us that figure
Chris.
again.
$7,650,278.
I thought it was more than that.
Say it real fast.
What's a million to friends?
What do you do?
Says no.
I think y'all all have a copy of that.
Yeah, it's line 25. Yeah.
We do. I'm looking at it right here.
And also part of that is the
She can't keep
BG2
nothing going.
that y'all have. That's just the description of a lot of stuff that Doug went through tonight. We have to describe it, what type of electric and all that we're going to use. That's part of that all has to be submitted.
And a lot of it is not as formal because it's not a school. You know, there's lots of stuff to fill out on the BG3.
That's really the only structure we're doing.
Okay.
Any questions?
I'm so excited.
On the KD forms?
We're extremely excited.
Wonderful. I can't wait to show everybody this picture.
So I recommend approval of the BG2, BG3, and construction documents for Russell County Schools Athletic Facility Upgrades Project, and that they be submitted to the Kentucky Department of Education with an authorization to advertise for bids pending KDE approval.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Okay, Mr. Murray,
Yes.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham,
Yes.
Mr. Kazook,
Yes.
and Ms. Wicker.
Yes.
We've been wanting this for 100 years.
At least.
Thank you all. Thank you, Doug.
Here she is, Dream.
The Jones are televised it all.
Yeah.
Very nice.
I love it.
Oh, I
Yes.
did too.
Extended days, full-time career technical teachers.
Several years ago, the full-time career technical teachers had their extended days cut. Currently, the career marketing, engineering, and computer science teachers do not have any extended days. I propose using the new funding provided to the local area vocational education centers departments known as the LAVIC to restore the extended days. The contract regarding this additional funding was approved at the previous board meeting, and the budget included funding for the extended days, 5 days per teacher for each full-time career technical teacher position. If you all recall, that contract was approved at the last regular board meeting. So it's for the computer science, the marketing, and the engineering technology education. And just a note here, the agricultural teachers, by law, by statute, they're already 240 days, and NJOTC already have their extended days either by statute or a contract with the Navy. So this funding is paid for. And specifically, there's budget codes in this funding that the state legislature allocated for us to give the days for the career technical teachers. Ms. Rita, do you have anything to add? Ms. Rita's over those programs.
No, I would like to emphasize the importance of these clubs that they have to have. I know you talked about a lot of people has clubs, but you wouldn't get any funding if you do not have the clubs along with mechanical engineering, just like agriculture and FFA, and we've got that covered already. But it's so important that they have a few days. And they've even had more than that, but this would help so much on their clubs. And it's a requirement that they have to have that, the clubs to be able to do the programs at all. Without those clubs, the programs would be no longer available. It's a little bit different than your other clubs at the high school.
And it's a great opportunity for us to give some of those days back and be covered with that funding that the state allocated as well.
They need them anyway.
So I recommend adding 5 extended days to the full-time computer science, marketing, engineering, technology, education teachers effective with this school year, 22-23 school year, and contingent upon the yearly funding.
I'll make a motion to that effect.
I'll second it.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazook?
Yes.
And Ms. Wicker?
Yes.
I can swim there.
Additional assistant swim coach.
Russell County Schools Swim and Dive Team currently have 43 members, and all but 12 are 8th grade and below. As the middle school program grows, I recommend an additional assistant coach for both swim and dive instruction and supervision. Assistant swim coach is on the level 5 of the extra service salary schedule that's been previously approved. And so the pay ranges anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000 depending upon the years of experience. It's just a lot of younger kids on our swim team, which is great as you build the program, but it does need some additional supervision and instruction with that. So I recommend approval of an additional assistant swim coach for the Russell County Schools Swim and Dive Team.
If you've ever been more than me,
There's a lot of work that goes
man,
into
that
this.
is a bunch
I'll make a
of
motion
people.
to approve additional
I'll second.
assistant swim
It
coach.
is the most people I've ever seen.
You second that, Ms. Brenda?
Yes.
They didn't have to. You've got them trained. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazook?
Yes.
And Ms. Wicker?
Yes.
And it's 200.
Contracts, memorandum of agreements.
We have the New Hope Counseling Memorandum of Agreement for 2022-2023. It's very familiar with the other counseling agreements that we have. The Martin School Travel Agreement for the Russell County High School Seniors Explorers Trip, and the 2023 Law Enforcement. We have a MOU currently with Jamestown Fiscal Court, Sheriff's Department, and the Russell County Board of Education. This updates that MOU. Everybody pays the same amount, which is $7,000 between those 4 entities. That's us included. And by the memorandum of agreement, unless somebody had an issue and wanted to, the agreement would renew yearly. We would give a 60-day notice if any party wanted to opt out. Again, I cannot tell you how much I appreciate the fiscal court, both of our cities and our sheriff's office for making these work. A lot of school districts scrambled and are still scrambling, and Mr. Grider can attest to that, of having resource officers in their school. We are not one of those districts. We were blessed before the law even changed that we already had these agreements in place, and that is certainly unique, and we are better off for it and blessed. But great cooperation. Mr. Grider and I had a good working lunch with Chief Kearns last week, and it was, or week before last, it was last week. It was a great meeting, and just to talk about through some things, and so.
Do you know he's in the hospital?
Is he now?
He's got brain bleed.
Who is?
Chief Kurz.
Well, I know he was sick last week. Didn't know that. So I recommend approval of the contracts and or memorandums of agreements that have been approved by the board attorney.
I make a motion to approval of contracts and memorandums of agreements that have been approved by the board attorney.
I'll second it.
Vote.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazook?
Yes.
And Ms. Wicker?
Yes.
Now, come on. What's the matter?
School Facilities Construction Commission, SFCC, Kentucky Education Technology System, CAT's offer of assistance.
So we've already referenced CATS once this evening. So the SFCC has presented a CATS offer of assistance in the amount of $33,829. The offer of assistance is attached for your review. I recommend that we accept the SFC CATS offer of assistance and escrow the full amount of $33,829 up to 3 years. That's something you all see, yeah, every year.
We decided we need to take it.
Okay, you're not going to reject it?
Yeah, we decided. I make a motion to accept.
Okay.
I'll second it. We wouldn't even pass it, but we said, oh, better take it.
Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazook?
Yes.
And Ms. Wicker?
Yes.
You need one yourself.
Take any money they want to give.
That means you got to go fall apart.
Purchase 1,500 SSB crew cab 4x4 truck, school resource officer.
So attached is a quote for a 1,500 SSV crew cab 4x4 truck with a state price contract of $37,905. I know Mr. Murray's already told me he would like to buy one for that state price list. Mr. Murray and Mr. Kazook had looked over that quote a little extra for me. The current vehicles used by the school resource officers, Mr. Grouder's particularly, has got a lot of age and a lot of miles, doesn't it, Mr. Grouder?
So does yours.
And we're starting to have significant mechanical issues. So we've got that new service truck for transportation for the bus garage. I would certainly recommend approval of this purchase of the 2023 1,500 SSV crew cab 4x4 truck. And at some point, we have got to look at, maybe not this year, but next year, another vehicle for maintenance. Mr. Scott Thomas, we had a piece of equipment rented, and there's just the towing capacity of our current vehicles are so poor, and the trucks are in poor shape. He just took it back with his own truck. It was a lot cheaper than them coming and getting it, but maintenance definitely needs a good vehicle as well. So I certainly recommend this vehicle here it'll be replacing Mr. Grouder's current vehicle. It'd be great to have a 4x4 truck as well in the SRO department.
I saw Jackie perk up when we put this item up.
I don't want to get overexcited until it's pending approval.
Teresa doesn't make you put cardboard underneath that one when you park at home, does she? Because I know it's leaking fluids.
I'll make a motion to approve the purchase of the 2023 1,500 SSV crew cab 4x4 truck.
I'll second it.
Okay. Mr. Murray?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Higginbotham?
Yes.
Mr. Kazook?
Yes.
And Ms. Wicker?
Yes.
And then after, sure, Mr. Grouder. And also tell them that we'll send it to get equipped, if you explain that part too.
So I didn't want to be overexcited till it was all over, but I want you to know I am excited, and I thank you. I want to personally thank you from coming on board and being a partnership, because this whole thing's been a partnership, and at no point do I ever want to, of all the sheriffs that I've been under and superintendents that I've been under, and still yet, at no point would I ever want to say that I didn't have anything to work with. But I'll have to say this, and I don't care to put it on the record, that you gals and girls are the first one in 26 years of my public service that's ever let me ride or let me have a new vehicle. I've always had something that was just kind of to make do. So thank you for the first opportunity of ever getting a public service or a vehicle to serve our students, our staff, our people, our community, and I thank y'all for that.
And it's timely too, because it saves schools
Are you still going to speak to us?
Pardon?
You won't have the big head, you'll still speak?
I might wait. But no, listen, I personally thank you. And to piggyback off what Mr. Ford was talking about too, about just us being in our district being in good shape, and I think that's a partnership from custodians all the way to the very top. And I thank you, Mr. Hoover. I appreciate you too, Mr. Ford, because of allowing me the luxury to be and trust me enough to carry out situations for our students, and we've done that, and I appreciate that too. But I was going to say a piggyback off of what he said was
When I go to Safe Schools training, and Mr. Akers, John Akers, our Safe Schools director, and our state school marshal, they really, they like our system. They like our guard check. They like we done had everything implemented. We didn't have to do this. A lot of districts are still humping and struggling. They don't have it. Of course, they're still waiting on maybe some funding in the upcoming future. But they like to model after our.
That fly was over here.
It's come to me. They like our district and all, and I think that's because we are a partnership. We are concerned about the safety. We are concerned about our students moving forward and being positive and making important people out of them. So I do appreciate y'all. I don't ask for a whole lot. Mr. Ford, a lot of times he'll say, you need something. So I think I'm good, and I've learned to work with a whole lot little and do more for less. That's what I've learned. But if whatever's for the betterment of the students and our community, that's what we do. So I thank you all again.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Jack.
I see you work with students.
And that's very timely, because like I said, it is Safe Schools Week.
He's one of the best with students.
He absolutely is.
Personnel reports.
Personnel reports, Kristen Krebs, District Substitute Teacher, Haley Gray, District Substitute Teacher, Kathy Leverage, District Food Service Substitute, Lacey Beckwith, Russell County High School, resigned 9/23/2022, Craig Leach, Bus Driver, retired 9/30/2022, Brittany Guillen, Bus Driver from standby to full-time, David Delk, Bus Driver from substitute to standby, Sandra Aaron, resigning 1/1/2023, Russell Springs Elementary School Special Education Aide, Stephanie McGowan, resigned, Russell County Middle School Assistant Volleyball Coach, and Sarah Elizabeth Page Coffey, resignation 10/31/2022 as a Jamestown Elementary School Instructional Assistant.
Public comment?
Public comment, I do want to wish Mr. Kazuka happy birthday, because he's celebrating a birthday this coming Saturday.
Happy birthday to you. Don't quit your day job. Happy birthday, dear Richard. Happy birthday to you.
And we have so much stuff going on this week between the athletic teams and band, and we just wish everybody. Volleyball is in competition right now, district competition. And our test scores are publicly released for the state of Kentucky tonight at 12:01. Isn't that Miss Radio, Miss McFall? The embargo ends, so we'll have a report out tomorrow, and that's public release, and have addressed those test scores. I don't have anything else, Ms. Wicker.
Anyone else have anything to say?
No, what you'll be saying. I make a motion we adjourn. He won't say something?
She made that.
I make a motion we adjourn. So I'll go to vote.
All in favor?
Okay.
Second. All in favor?
Yes.
Raise your right hand. Just swear to tell the truth.
Mr. Onion wanted that out here. He said, I'll go to the football game.
Well, I think it was coming.